Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to learn how to make this beautiful pair of shorts, and for these shorts we used a half double crochet stitch and the waistband is ribbed. We have a stretchy elastic waistband and we also have scallops at the base together with the mesh pattern that runs at the base of the shorts. So let's jump right into the materials. For the materials, you will need yarn. The yarn that I'm using is Winter King, a 4-ply acrylic yarn, but you can use any yarn that recommends a 4mm crochet hook. This is a size 3 yarn and it's a DK weight yarn. And I needed about 3 balls, so each ball is 150 yards. So approximately 450 to 500 yards should be enough for the size that I made for, or even more or less depending on the size that you're going to make for. So I'm making for a size medium, which is hip size 40 inches, and we shall make this pattern made to measure, so we can alter it to any size of our choice. The measurements that you'll need for this project are the waistline circumference, the hip circumference, and the length of the shirt that you want to make. So for me, my waistline sample is 28 inches, my hip circumference is 40 inches, and the length of my shirt is approximately 12 inches. These are very short shirts, so if you want to make yours longer, you'll go ahead and extend them the way you want. So yeah, this shirt is stretchy, as you can see here. The waistband is a stretchy waistband, and then we created some increases to accommodate the hip circumference and then started working flat. So this is the crotch area, and then we also have some beautiful scallops worked on the edge of the shorts, and also this mesh pattern that runs at the base of the shorts. The waistband is ribbed, as you can see. So in this video you'll be learning so many aspects when it comes to shirt composition. If you would like the written pattern, it's already available on all my online shops, and I'll be leaving all the links in the description box below. You're going to grab your 4mm crochet hook and your yarn, and you're going to start off with a slip knot. So after this, you're going to make a chain of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And this is going to be the thickness of the waistband. You're going to go into the second chain from the hook. So not this one, the second chain from the hook. And you're going to insert your hook, pull up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook, and yarn over pull through all. That's a single crochet in the US terms. So go into the next chain, pull up a loop, yarn over pull through all. So we are going to continue to single crochet in each and every chain all the way across our starting chain. Alright, so we are coming to the end of the chain, and we have one more chain left. You'll go into it with a single crochet just like the previous chains, and you'll have something that looks like this. After this, you're going to make a chain of 1. This will be a row 2 of the waistband, and you're going to go into the back loop of the single crochet. So you go into that back loop of the stitch and then place a single crochet. So from now on, we're just going to go into each and every stitch into the back loop, and we're going to place 1 single crochet back loop only into each and every stitch. So this is going to help us create that ribbing effect, as you'll see later on as we continue working the waistband. Alright, so we've come to the end, and I'm placing 1 single crochet back loop only into the very last stitch. You should be having a total of 9 stitches, by the way, if you started with a chain of 10, because one of the chains was a turning chain. So we're going on to row 3 of the waistband. You're going to make a chain of 1, turn your work, and you're going to continue to place one single crochet back loop only into each and every stitch across. So the number of stitches that you make for each and every row of the waistband should be the same. So if you had 9 stitches for your row 1, maintain that number until you come to the end of the waistband. The number of stitches for each and every row shouldn't change, it should remain constant. And then make a chain of 1 and turn your work. Single crochet back loop only into each and every stitch. So that's what we are going to keep repeating until this waistband, until the waistband can stretch to our waistline circumference. So my intended waistline circumference is 28 inches, and I'm going to keep working until this grows to 28 inches when slightly stretched. Alright, this is what I was talking about. As you continue working in the back loop only stitch, you're going to create that ribbed effect of the waistband. So you're going to keep working and growing your waistband until it can slightly stretch to your waistline circumference. And the waistline circumference we are considering is the upper waistline. So we kept repeating row 2 until we had our waistline measurement, which is a total of 28 inches. Once you get that measurement, we're going to join our panel into a round. So you're going to make a chain of 1 and turn your work and go into the back loops and into the foundation chain of our starting chain and place a slip stitch. So back loop and then the foundation chain, slip stitch. So keep doing this all the way across. Alright, so I'm joining my very last stitch with a slip stitch, and now we have a round for our waistband of the skirt. So you're going to turn your work onto the right side. This is the wrong side where you've worked the slip stitch. So you're going to turn your work onto the right side, and then you're going to make a chain of 1 and half double crochet into each and every row of the waistband. So a half double crochet is yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all. So continue to half double crochet into each and every row of the waistband until you come back to the beginning of the round. Alright, so we're coming to the end of round 1 of half double crochet stitches. And after placing your last half double crochet into the last row of the waistband, you're going to go into the very first half double crochet on top of it and place a slip stitch. So insert your hook and pull through all. So you're going to place your work like this so that the exact middle is at the back of your panel. Now you're going to get 2 stitch markers. Get your 2 stitch markers and mark the sides of the skirt into that stitch and the stitch on the opposite side. So these stitches are going to get the increases. So for the next round, which is round 2 of the half double crochet stitches, you're going to make a chain of 1 and turn your work. You're going to half double crochet into each and every stitch until you get to your very first half double crochet stitch. So place 1 half double crochet into each and every stitch until you get to your first stitch marker that you just placed. Alright, so I'm placing a half double crochet into the stitch before the stitch marker. You're going to remove your stitch marker and place 2 half double crochets in that stitch that had the stitch marker. Now you're going to go ahead and mark the second one, the last one you just placed. Just put the stitch marker back and then half double crochet in each of the next stitches until you get to your second stitch marker, which is this one. Alright, so we've reached our second stitch marker. You're going to remove it, and into that stitch you're going to place 2 half double crochets and mark the second one, or the very last half double crochet you just placed, and then half double crochet in each and every stitch until the end of the round. Alright, so when you come to the end of the round, you're going to make 1 slip stitch into the very first half double crochet of the round. Just go on top of it and place a slip stitch. We're going on to round 3 of the half double crochets, and this one is going to be a non-increase round. The one that we just placed is an increase round. The next one will be a non-increase round. So chain 1, turn your work so that you're working in the opposite direction of the previous round, and then half double crochet in each and every stitch until you get to your very first stitch marker. Alright, so we've reached our first stitch marker, and since this is a non-increase round, you're going to remove the stitch marker from the stitch and place only 1 half double crochet into that stitch and replace your stitch marker there into that stitch, and then half double crochet in each of the next stitches until you get to your second stitch marker. So just like we've done here, when you get here you just remove your stitch marker and half double crochet once in that stitch and replace the stitch marker into the new stitch, and then half double crochet all the way to the end of the round, and I'll meet you back at the end of the round here. Alright guys, we've come to the end of the round, and since this was a non-increase round, we haven't done any increases. So you're going to go into the very first half double crochet with 1 slip stitch into it, and then we're going to go onto our next round, and this round is going to be a round of increases, and it's going to resemble round 2 because round 2 had increases on the sides. So you're going to keep alternating between round 2 and round 3, the round of increases and the round of no increases, again and again until this length here can stretch to half of your hip measurement. So far we have a total of 17 inches, and our intended hip circumference is 40 inches. So I'm going to keep alternating between the increase round and the non-increase round until this can stretch to half of my intended hip circumference. So just to be clear, you chain 1 and turn your work so that you're working in the opposite direction of the previous round, and you're going to half double crochet until you get to your very first stitch marker. Once you get there, you place two half double crochet stitches into the stitch with the stitch marker and mark the second half double crochet stitch and go all the way across. Do the same here and wind up your round, and then for the next round you will just place 1 half double crochet in the stitches with the stitch markers and then replace the stitch marker into the new round or the new stitch you just placed, and then keep alternating between the two rounds until we get that measurement that we intend to get. Alright guys, so you're going to keep doing your increase rounds and non-increase rounds, keeping in mind your hip circumference as well as the length of your shirt from the top all the way to your crotch. So for example, mine has reached my hip circumference. As you can see, you're going to work until when you stretch you get half your hip circumference. You can see we're at 20, but I also have a total of 8 inches all the way down and a total of 20 rounds of half double crochets. That's what I did for my shirt. So I'll be recommending a number of rows to do for the different sizes on the screen. From here you will make a chain of 18. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 and 18. This is for a size medium. For all the other sizes, just check on the screen and see the number of chains that you have to do for your size. So after your chain in the middle here, after your last half double crochet stitch from the previous round, you make this chain and you're going to slip stitch into that stitch that you had marked. Just insert your hook and pull through all. So what we've done here is splitting the two legs. So right now we have our short design. Now we're going to take the direction in a way that we are working on the opposite direction of the previous round. So that means I'm going to first work on this side, because if I start with this side, I'll be working in the same direction as the previous round, and we want to keep the flow of the pattern. Since we've been turning every other round, I'll make sure I first work on the side where I'm working on the opposite direction of the previous round. So I'm going to make a chain of 1 and half double crochet in each and every stitch from the previous round until I get back to the chain. Until we get back here. I'll meet you back at this point. Alright, so we've made it all the way around and I've placed 1 half double crochet in each and every stitch until I go to the chain. Another thing that I want to point out is if you get your number of rows needed for this part before you get to your hip circumference, then you're going to split the legs and continue to increase. Do your rows of increase on this side and the row of no increase. So that means you will maintain your stitch marker here. That's for the people who have wider hips. So yeah, that's something that I wanted to point out. If you happen to finish to get your hip circumference before you get the length here, then you're going to just do the plain rounds of no increase until you get the number of rows that you need here, and then you split the legs and continue to follow the tutorial as needed. So right now I'm at the chain and I'm placing 1 half double crochet in each and every chain. Alright, so when you place a half double crochet in the very last chain, you're going to go into the first half double crochet of the round and you're going to place a slip stitch there. Then from now on, we are going to go back to the round of chain 1, turn your work, and half double crochet in each and every stitch all the way around. And you're going to keep repeating this round. When you come to the end, you slip stitch into the very first half double crochet of the round. Keep repeating this round until you get your short length that you desire for your shirt. So let me first work on one side. I'll come back and show you how many rounds that I'll have made, and then shall come to the opposite side and also work on it on camera. Alright, so I ended up doing a total of 7 rounds for the extension. Just on one side, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and you can do as many rounds as you wish for your shirt. So we're going to do the edging of the shirt, and to do that, you're going to do a total of 4 chains. skip one stitch, double crochet into the next, chain one, skip one stitch, double crochet into the next, chain one, skip one stitch, double crochet into the next. So you're going to go all the way around doing this, and this is going to create a mesh pattern around the base of the shorts. So we've made it all the way around, and I have one more stitch left. I'm going to make a chain of one, skip that stitch, and then you're going to go into the third chain of the first chain 4 of the round and make a slip stitch. That means we've finished our mesh round around the first leg hole. So what we're going to do right now is to create scallops that we usually make on our designs. So to do that, you're going to make a chain of one, go into the first chain 1 space and make a single crochet, and then you're going to make a chain of 3 and place 3 more double crochets into the same exact space. So we have our 3 double crochets plus the chain of 3. You're going to skip over the next chain 1 space. You're going to skip this and go into the next with 1 single crochet, and then you're going to make a chain of 3, double crochet 3 more times into the same space, skip the next chain 1 space and go into the next with 1 single crochet, and you're going to repeat that all the way around. So we've made it all the way around with our scallops. We're going to skip the next chain 1 space and single crochet into the next space, and then slip stitch into the very first single crochet of the round. You're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn all through. So that marks the first side, the end of the first side of the shorts. And you're going to repeat this same exact process on the opposite side. So to do that, you're going to attach your yarn on the opposite side, and you're going to make sure you're working in the opposite direction of the previous round. So I'll attach my yarn at this point into this stitch. I'm going to make a chain of 1 and half double crochet into the same stitch. Continue to half double crochet into each and every stitch all the way around. So half double crochet into each and every stitch all the way around until you get back to the beginning of the round. So I'll meet you back when I'm here before I join the chain. Alright, so I've made it all the way around to the chain, and when you get to the chain, you're going to place 1 half double crochet into each and every chain. So continue to half double crochet into each and every chain in the middle of the shorts. Alright, so we've placed our last half double crochet before the first one, and you're going to go into the first half double crochet and place a slip stitch. Now from now on, you're going to just chain 1, turn your work, and half double crochet around the second leg hole until you have the same exact number of rounds that you did before the edging of the first leg hole. So I had a total of 7 rounds of extension for the first leg. I've so far done 1 on this side, so that means I'm left with 6 more rounds before I start working on the edging of the second leg hole. So let me go ahead and work my 7 rounds on this side, and also go ahead and work my edging just like I did for the first one, and then I'll meet you back when the shirt is balanced on both ends. Alright, after balancing both sides, you're going to go ahead and weave in all these tails, and then we're going to go back to the waistband of our shirts, and we're going to make an adjustable and stretchy waistband. Alright, so you're going to come back to the waistband of the shirt, and we're going to get our elastic strand. We're going to measure 6 inches less than the waist circumference. So our waist circumference is 28 inches minus 6 brings us to a total of 22 inches. So we want an elastic strand that's this length without stretching. All right, so you're going to cut off from here. Let's just cross check. Should have your waist circumference minus 6 inches. So you can see I have my elastic strand at 22 inches, but it can even stretch up to 40 or 41, even 45 inches. So from here, you're going to just make a double knot, just secure your elastic strand. But if your band is thicker, then you can just use a sewing needle and sew it together to form a ring, just like this. So you're going to go ahead and cut off the excess yarn, the excess strand, and you're going to start cleaning up the edge, the top edge of the shorts with the elastic band on top. So you're going to grab your yarn and you're going to attach it at the back of the shorts, and you're going to go into each and every row of single crochets with 1 single crochet, but wrapping around the elastic band. So you first make the chain and single crochet into that same exact row, and continue to go into each and every row with 1 single crochet while wrapping the elastic strand into the row. So go all the way around, placing 1 single crochet into each and every single crochet row of the waistband. And as you work, keep pulling on the elastic band or the elastic strand just a little bit, so that it can gather the waistband of the shorts. Alright, so we've made it all the way around, and we've weaved in the whole elastic strand into the top part of the shirt. And after your last single crochet, you're going to place a slip stitch into the very first single crochet of the round, chain 1, and cut your yarn. Pull through and turn to the back side and get rid of the loose ends, either by tying a knot or by using a darning needle. So whichever you prefer, make sure you get rid of those loose ends on the back side of the shirts. And that's it, guys. We have created an elastic waistband for our shirt. Can cut off the excess here and try to hide it inside. This is the back part of the shirt, and the one with the same line, and the front part of the shirt is here. So let's see the final look of our shirts. So you can see this. So this is how our shirts turned out. Here they are paired with the mandala crochet top and the flower crochet bandeau top, and both tutorials are also available on all my online shops. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you did, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.